Hello. Hello.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Alrighty. I have new headphones on. Hopefully this hasn't like completely ruined the microphone or the default microphone, I should say. So let's see. Headset earphones. Yep, that's correct. No, it should be going to the wavelength stream. 190 seconds till squat. No, don't do squats to me. No. All right, properties. Wavelength stream. Awesome. Cool. So it is going to that. Bam. There we go. Oh, I forgot to check as well. Does the hands work? Yes, they work. Alrighty then. Hi, hello, happy Monday. Is it Monday? Yes, it's Monday. Happy Monday. I have...
Bone Nazca Dog thinks you should do 20 squats.
Ah. Fine, alright. Why do I even bother doing, like, these rants? I should just wait for the squats to go off. Or at the same time, just remove them entirely. Alright, here we go. It's been a while, Chase. I now need to do squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats. You have good news? Alright, is this good news you can share? I would love to hear this good news that you can share. Later. Is the camera even, like, doing its job, I wonder? You want to raffle... Oh, okay, that's Bones' good news. You got accepted to the course you want to get for your senior year of high school. Congratulations! Nice work. Nice work, Chase. I am proud of you. Congratulations on getting to your chosen course for senior year in high school. Senior year, that's like the 4th year of high school, right? That's like the year. Graphic design. Awesome. Excuse me. Nose. Hang on. Senior year. High school. What in the world? You are now a senior. Congratulations. High school. Didn't realize you were still in school. Don't know why that didn't, like, you know, pop into my head. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, not used to the idea of people still in school watching and following me. I'm more used to the idea of, like, people in university or something. You stopped for a year due to an accident. Ah. That's why. Okay, so... Alright, then that... So, yeah, so there would have been, like, about a year where you weren't doing school then. Okay. Radio, that... Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get to finish school, like, you know, in the same time as everyone else's. Are my eyes blinking? Like, if I slowly do it... Like, if I slowly do it, then they, like, close and such. But I don't think they close, you know, via the... Yeah. Do my eyes even properly close? Hang on a sec. Maybe... Let's see. Arm, body, tracking loss... You stopped for a year due to a head injury around 7th grade. That's why you had to start over again, and after you'd be in 11th grade. Ah. Well, I'm sorry that's how the cookie had to crumble for you. Let's see. Is there a way for me to, like, accelerate the speed? Oh, smoothing. I can, like, probably get rid of the iPhone smoothing, so then that way... Hopefully that should do it. And then if I look straight forward, there we go. It was a mood. That's how you found me. Ah, okay. Wait. I wasn't streaming, like, hang on a second. Like, how the fuck did you... I wasn't streaming, like, because if you're in year 12 now, and you have to repeat year 7, so 11, 10, 9... That's like 5 years... How did you find me 5 years ago if I wasn't even streaming? You were mostly on Twitch, so you was mostly watching streamers. Is my brain just, like, having a bit of a... Wait, hang on. Am I reading... So you had an injury in 7th grade. So you have to start over again. Now after summer break, you'll be in 11th grade. How did you jump from like 7 to 11? Am I just like Rise of Z? Then he rated you. Oh, okay. All right. So it would have been... Okay, so you would have spotted me like 2 years ago then. Yeah, 2 years ago. Hi there, Sir Dragon. Welcome to the stream. I'm just trying to adjust... My goodness, these headphones. I have like a new pair of headphones now, so rather than having the... Oh, they're not here. Rather than having the pair of headphones that had the plastic like splitting off at the part where they do the adjustments and such, I now got myself a new pair of headphones through the Amazon Prime thingamadiggy, and holy shit, they actually do a very impressive job in, you know, stopping the noise on like outside the thing. And I'm hoping that means that if there is any sound going on through the speakers, or through the headset, I should say, it's not going to go into the microphone. Like, hang on a second. Like, if I stop talking. Awesome. It looks like, you know, nothing about the speakers will, you know, go into the microphone and what have you. Also, I need to adjust. Hang on. Never met you if you didn't use Twitch, but still, cool chain of events. Cool chain of events. Awesome. Excellent chain of events. Where is... I had an app to help me, like, adjust the... Because I had the thing where the side tone, like, to actually hear myself was, like, really low. Maybe I need to have it higher, like 50%. And then if it's at 100, then I'm just hearing, you know, full volume. Ba 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 ba. Let's go with... This is like, what? A little over 50%? Yeah, that's a little bit better. 63%. All right, I think 63% will be all right, because then it sounds really tinny, like, through the headphones, but at least I can sort of hear myself talk and stuff, and it doesn't have, like, this droned out, like, kind of thing to myself. I don't know. I just need to find the balance of it, you know, being able to hear myself talk, so I'm not, like, shouting and such, but also not having it, you know, so loud that if there is any, what's the word? If there is any, like, delay or something like that, that I'm not accidentally giving myself a speech jammer or what have you, because I'm having a hard enough time as is just communicating with people. I don't need to have my headphones doing a speech jammer nonsense while I'm communicating. One of the other things, sorry, there was like a number of things that were purchased. Like last month, I've not yet set it up, but last month I pre-ordered the Leap Motion 2. I've not put that together. Because I don't have like the housing for it to put it on my chest like I do my normal Leap Motion, but I'm thinking of having it on the desk instead, because it has like a wider field of view than the Leap Motion 1. So, like, you know, there's a temptation in having it just sitting on the desk and what have you, which, you know, may not have the same level of accuracy as like when I have it on my chest. But if I have it on the desk, then if I try to use the Leap Motion in another program, say Vignon, instead of going through VC Face to do it and then from VC Face to Vignon, if I did it that way, then hopefully the Leap Motion 2 means I have less things on my chest, so it's easier for me to just simply like unclip and then like walk out of the office and do something else, you know, during all this. So yeah, a lot of different purchases were done in this time frame. All right. Also, I just realized the reason why the music seems so loud is because, once again, the music is loud in my headphones, but it's not loud for you guys because I have the music track set so much lower. All right, close that. Move these to the sides. And then I need to go and find... I'm pretty sure it's through GOG Galaxy was how I was playing through this game last time. Good old games, Messiah. Installed Baldur's Gate and play Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. So yeah, so when last I played this, we went through a little bit of chapter 2 leading into chapter 3, but unfortunately, it wasn't... I was fucking up on some areas. Like, I had one of my characters die, and he wasn't coming back or anything like that. And so there came this issue of, like, how the fuck do I revive my characters and such? Maybe I needed a guide to tell me, like, what to do, where to go. And so what I have now is I have been reading. Oh, the himbo has been reading. So yeah, so I've been reading like a strategy guide, sort of explaining to me like where things are and what have you. Hang on, I need to do some adjustments. Game sources, capture any source. I need it capturing a specific window now because that window is resized. There we go. So Baldur's Gate. And we're gonna go with the start of chapter 2. So then that way it's not like a total fuck up. Excuse me, nose. How is everyone else's day? So Bone Mass Dog won a raffle. Chase is getting into their final year of high school. Good for yous. Sir Dragon, any fun news? Were you able to wake up today? Because I did not wake up until like 10:30 or something.
Smile. Stand away, citizen.
And this is, I believe there's a trouble there. Allow me to put my... You'll have no trouble from us, I assure you. Awesome, cool. Also, I need to stop the music in the background, and I'm sorry, Chase. As the last man standing, congratulations on making it at the end of this intro, fighters. Back into the game. Assad is doing their cool thing. I'm gonna head into the inn, like with the full party.
It might be a touch unladylike, but I'm gonna slit your throat. I am.
If you wish to die, then attack as you will. By all means, defend as you wish. If you were to simply lay down and die, there would be no intrigue in this profession at all. Cool. Now comes
what do you want?
bit. We're gonna go stabby with
You're
you.
a queer fellow.
We're gonna move you over here.
You spoke at me?
And then you're gonna attack.
Something troubling you?
Minor drain on you.
Nature's servant awaits.
You are going to attack.
Can I help you?
And you are gonna run into attack as well. There we go.
What you want?
Your voice is ambrosia.
There we go. Alright, when is my character not stunned? Hang on. It's the temptation to just rest right there. Can I see my stats? Held. There we go.
Stop!
Hardly worth my time.
Yep. I'm gone.
Alright. Gold is now at 680. We can pick up a club if we want. And some cool helmet. There we go. Alright, so that's one person that stopped being held.
You have need of me? I do my best. Never had rats.
What can you give me today? You hear about the mayor of Baragost? Keldoth came down here and told us we better stop shipping such bad iron, as if we can do anything about it. Volo's blasted review cut my business in half. I'll take him for a chat out back when I next see him. Lol. Alrighty, we're gonna go for the peasant. We're gonna rent that out. We're gonna have a little bit of a sleep. And we are going to go and talk with some peeps. This time around, no one died. Thank goodness. Alrighty,
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Oh, hang on. Alright, so you are over encumbered. So we're gonna give you the armor. So I'm pretty sure you can wear this, can't Yep, you can wear it. You're still over encumbered by a good 4 kilos. I can't wear anymore.
Can I
Something
help you?
troubling you?
Actually, is he mage book? Does he have No, he doesn't have identify. He's memorized nothing. Cool. And I just wasted a spell. Do you have identify? No, you don't. You have 2 cure light wounds. And a bless. Upon the thingamadoogs, cool. So you just have chill touch and a minor drain. You've got no such spells. You've got no such spells. And I am a thief with no such spells either. Let's have a look at my inventory. Can I put anything away? Let's see. Burning Hands. Thingy. Magic Missile. Armor. By means of the spell, they create a magic field of force that serves it as if it were... Okay, so it can't be used by clerics, druids, fighters, monks, paladins, rangers. Okay, so I need a magical person to help me with that.
Hardly worth my time.
Ding.
What you got for me this time? Top of my to-do list. Yeah?
Top of
What do you
my
want?
to-do list.
Top of my to-do list.
Okay, F5 is thieving. And... Gotta love being a thief. I can just start stealing shit. Means I get back most of my money from like going in here, resting. It's like, nope, now we're just gonna steal all your shit, get our monies back, and maybe pocket a little extra on the way. Alright,
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
out we go. Imonen gets encumbered, slowed. Oh, she's still like over encumbered, but we haven't like figured out. Alrighty, and then...
Way ahead of you, boss.
I care not. You're a queer fellow.
Okay, so I can't give her anything better. You're holding a lot of the cool shit. I'm holding some weird nonsense. Alright, 120. Okay, so you can hold more things. So I am going to give the shield to you. Actually, I can give you the shield. There we go. Then you're gonna give Imoen a better piece of armor. And you can hold on to that armor. You're a little bit close. She's still over... What in the world is... Is it... Oh, it's because of this fucking club. God damn. Alright, you... And we'll give that to you, just so... Alright, so this does 1d6 crushing with a speed factor of 4. This also does 1d6. Not usable by monks. Why can't monks use the quarterstaff? That's weird. Alright, and then you've got your helmets. You're holding on to a lot of shit.
This way.
What you got for me? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, let's see if we can head into the store. Can we...
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, talk to the storekeep.
Welcome to my humble establishment.
What has he got for sale? Alright. Sell? What's Isle Gems? Is actually short for Iolite, which is core daylight, although its common nickname is Violet Stone, even though its overall hue is usually blue. Isles are usually cut into faceted gems to... I'm stroking my beard as I, like, read this as well, if you're wondering, like, what's going on with this hand. It's, like, all the way up here, but the leap motion can't capture this because it ends up here, and tracking's gone. Is viewed from different directions. Small cut aisles can be clear, but Alright, I'm pretty sure those can be sold as well. We got those kinds of rings. We got a silver ring, and we've got 2 short bows. It's gonna get rid of the leather armor. You can also get rid of the leather armor. Bastard swords. Zircon gems are not going to be sold. And there we go. Alright, so note to self. Stop picking up leather armor. We don't need more leather armor. Alright, where is the blue helmet? There we go. Blue helmet. Identify. Helm of Infravision. The Eyes of Truth being a scavenger of sort. Babettet Malmstrom had this helm created to aid her in her dungeon excursion. She would later attribute her gathering wealth solely to its power, though likely it was as much her keen eye as anything. The equipped ability, it gives infrared up to 120 feet and protects against critical hits. Awesome. I have no need for such a helmet because I already get infravision. Wait, can she not wear it? Hang on. Can she? No, she can't wear the helmet. Weird. Alright, he's already pretty armored up. I'm gonna give her the helmet, so then that way she's got infravision.
Business has been poor, what with the iron shortage and all.
Alright, so sell the 2 helmets. Alright.
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you,
Back
boss.
outside we go.
Top of my to-do list.
Top of my to-do list. We talk... Oh,
I will show you justice.
actually, one of the things... So this got read up and such like that. And what's more is none of you guys are going to be complaining about this, hopefully. If there is complaints about this, then maybe I'll turn back around. But we are going to go back up to this little thingy-majiggies here.
Top of my to-do list.
Because there is this area here I did not realize was where our adoptive father was killed and such. I thought we, like, you know, fucked off somewhere else entirely, but nope, we were still in this area. We were, like, probably, like, 30 paces away or something like that. So now comes the fun bit in trying to... There we go. Please forgive the abruptness with which I now write, but time is short and there is much to be done. What we have long feared may soon come to pass, though not in the manner foretold, and certainly not in the proper time frame, as we both know. Forecasting these events has proved increasingly difficult, leaving little option other than a leap of faith. We have done what we can for those in thy care, but the time nears when we must step back and let matters take what course they will. We have perhaps been a touch too sheltered to this point. Despite my desire to remain neutral in this matter, I could not. In good conscience, let events proceed without some measure of warning. The other side will move very soon, and I urge thee to leave Candlekeep.
I prefer the daylight.
I urge thee to leave Candlekeep this very night if possible. The darkness may seem equally threatening, but a moving target is much harder to hit, regardless of how sparse the cover. A fighting chance is all that can be asked for at this point. Should anything go awry, do not hesitate to seek aid from travelers along the way. I do not need to remind thee that it is a dangerous land, even without our current concerns, and a party is stronger than an individual in all aspects. Should additional assistance be required, I understand that Jaira and Kalid are currently at the Friendly Arm Inn. They know little of what is past, but they are ever thy friend and will not doubt help however they can. Luck be with us all. I'm getting too old for this. E. Cool. Alright, so that just sort of gave us the same... I thought there would be, like, some secret cool nonsense to that, but I guess... Oh, Jesus, wolves. God damn, the wolf does a lot of damage. There's like a party AI on. There we go.
Smiles, everyone! Smiles!
There we go. Nice. Why don't they just have that on naturally? Okay, we need to head to... head back to here.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
There we go. Ah, excuse me. Nose. And then we can talk to Rasad.
See? Such feats are easy when you learn to focus their energies through the light of Selune.
Are you some kind of circus performer?
But I understand why you might think so. My name is Rasad. I am merely demonstrating some of the ways in which we Sun Soul monks reflect our spiritual light through physical activity. May I tell you more about the Order of the Sun Soul?
Please
The
do.
Order of the Sun Soul was founded during the time of...
Hey, what are you supposed to be?
I have come not to fight, but
Oh,
I am not a...
I already heard this.
Yeah. Save it for temple school, boy. If you're not gonna fight, no.
No, you are correct. You seem like someone who would appreciate the tenets of the
Why do you
inheritors
worship?
of a Monitor's power. Selune is the most ardent foe of spiritual darkness. After all, she is the bright opposite of Shah, the mistress of the night.
Nice.
The Moon Maiden's reflected radiance inspires us to shine our inner light upon those in need. In the face of lies, we offer truth. In the face of hatred, we offer... What more would you like to know?
Sounds like a good... Hi there, Furry Cures. Welcome to the stream. Although, Furry Cures, shouldn't you be asleep? Don't lie to me. I've seen the weird messages. I have to probably come to the conclusion that there are some people here that are not in the same scenario of living as I am, where they're like, you know, living on their own in their 30s. They have like, you know, probably living with their parents or something because it's, you know, more economically viable to do so in today's age. Tell me about the Order of the Sun.
Soul was founded in the days of ancient Netheril. Then it was called the Brotherhood of the Sun, and its members, with the fall of Netheril, a monitor vanished. Some believe his power now resides in other gods. My sect of the Order reveres Selune. What more would you like to know?
Okay, so he follows the...
I have had trouble making ends meet since coming to Nashkel. If doing so gives me the chance to help others find their inner light,
You overslept to
I
get
would be glad
first.
to join you.
Sorry, mate. Remove from the party. Yes, we do. Done.
Your voice is ambrosia.
Alrighty then, cool. Not only do we now have a new party member who is like more in tune with us because, you know, he's a fun fella. He's just a fun, cool guy.
of I have things to do. One not being sitting on me duffer talking to you.
You've lived in a sheltered life if I've ever heard of the great trading nation of Amn. Naskel here marks its northernmost boundary, though that may change before long. Mark my words, there'll be an Omnian soldier lining the streets of Baragos by winter if those devils from Baldur's Gate don't stop sabotaging our armor. Hello there. I recognize Jara is in your group, so you must be the adventurer I was expecting. I am Bayroom Gaskill, mayor of Neshkel, and I am happy to welcome you. I am sorry we had to meet under these circumstances.
I refuse to elaborate because I don't know what I just said.
What did you say? You overslept, dang it, and then okay. Save your pleasantries. I thought Jara would travel with a group that had better manners. I guess even the best of people must work with low lives occasionally, if only to get the job done. As for your question, I knew you were coming, because I spoke with friends of Jairia, mutual acquaintances that I knew would respond. But I don't know. What do you need from me? I need you to descend into the... okay. Yep. We're investigating the iron crisis. Because we do not have a strong idea as to why iron is getting spoilt. Temple of Helm. Nice. Now, where is our fun little ranger? There's Oblek.
Oh,
keep your money. It is not mine.
Gorion would be proud of your actions.
Minsk, there you are.
Stand and deliver, that my hamster might have a better look at you.
Let us pass, stranger, for we have not much time to waste. What? Yes, I'll ask them. Boo and I go to rescue my charge, Dinah here. You may aid in our victory if you wish. There is glory enough for all. How could anyone decline? Take heart, fellow adventurers, for you have curried the favor of Boo, the only miniature giant space hamster in the realm. My friend and companion ever since my head wound. He will lead us to victory, onwards to the Knoll stronghold in the west. Tarry not, we must go on.
Bone Masked Dog thinks you should do 20 squats.
Already? So soon?
Stand away, citizen!
Hey there, who told you that you could come in here? This place is only for members of the Emian soldiery. Little snot noses like you. You're not welcome here. Go on. Get out of here before I have to kick your butts. Now, if you excuse me, I have important business to attend to.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright, we're getting out of here, and...
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Pause, and... time to do the squats. Big stretch. You was just about to redeem that.
Calm your ice paddy.
You calm your ice paddy.
Hello!
Looking to try and, take on Bone Masked Dog and their desire for the squat redeem. Alrighty then, here we go. 1,
Quote 314.
2, 3, 4,
this is a really tall
5,
ruler.
6,
Jesus.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, goddamn you furry curs, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. And thank you for pixelating me after getting my shirt stolen by Bone. Thank you, or by Fury Cures. Thank you, Bone, for covering up my decency. It was well needed. Alrighty, so there's a barracks there. There's a road here to something. It's a weird-ass garden is what it is. What is this place? The Manor House. Cool.
Hello!
Hello, Bookie! Thank you for the 69 bits and making me all hyper himbo. How's it going? How are you doing? You bought a Bookie cookie? Nice. Do I have a... No, it doesn't look like I don't have any of my moderators here, so... I'm gonna give you a shout out. Okay, so we're trying to get to this Knoll-ass, temple. Alright, actually, no, let's head to the mines first. Journal. Quests. Important events. Enter the Nazca. I have arrived at the impressive pit known as the Nashkel Mines, and people seem to be on edge. I should speak with the owner of the mines for permission before entering.
Quote 400.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Why does Bone Mask have like a different sized head?
I don't know. How was your art? I don't know what quote 410 is about. You quoted it, like, if you don't know what your quotes say, if you don't know what your quote says, maybe you need to like slow down on applying quotes and instead do more clips and what have you. But you must be aware there are monsters. Thank you. Actually, we're adventurers. Perhaps you could tell us what's been going on. If you want to know where to go, just go to the northwest. Up there is the mines. Emerson may tell you that he doesn't need any adventurers, but you don't need to listen to him. We need as many men as we can get. Anything else? Well, yeah, there's this crazy guy. I think his name is Prism. He's been making a sculpture in the cliffside. Kind of a cook, if you ask me. I'll see you later, then. Alrighty, then. So, did not realize there was a house there. Will it let me go up there? Nah, it doesn't look like it. It's just randomly there. Can't go down there. Yep, this is the northwest. Because never eat soggy wheat bix. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, Alkiris, I'm already hyper himbo. Okay, hopefully that hyper himbo works correctly, where it will unsize me and resize me.
Glub, glug.
I will have a sippies, however. Hi there, how's it going? You doing all right? You doing all right? Excellent. Good to hear. Different peeps have been saying some good news. I have woken up before noon today. Chase got the course that they wanted at school, and oh yeah, Bone got a whatsamahoozy. They won a raffle, which was really good for them. So yeah, real fun nonsense. Alrighty. Is this where I Alt-tab right now and look at the strategy guide and figure out where the fuck I'm meant to be? Oh, wait, maybe I'm going the right way right now. Oh, Prism, that's the guy who's making the weird thing on the face.
Beauteous creature! You are my masterpiece!
Never should I have stolen those emeralds, but there was nothing else that would capture the majesty of thine eyes. I did what must be done, for I have left my shop, forgotten all my commissions, and spent all that I had. I must complete thee. Wait, there's someone here. Who are you? 'Twas that relentless Greywolf, wasn't it? I have nothing to do with anyone named Greywolf, nor would I want to. Thank Denanir. I thought I was done in. I'm not cut out for a life on the run. Mayhaps you could help a foolish sculptor finish this epiphany. Please, guard this place, for surely Greywolf will come seeking the bounty on the gems. I will pay with my last possessions if you would do this one service for me. It is... I'll safeguard you as best as I can. Thank you, for I cannot run from this place until my task is done. I have been using potions of speed to aid my work, and I have not slept for days. She is beautiful, is she not? 'Tis a monument to my foolishness. I saw her but once on the outskirts of Everesca, and said nothing. I let thee pass from mine eyes, and my heart hath cursed me for it. You finished dinner? Who took your clothes away? That was a while ago. That was Furky. Oh, hello. Not yet. My work is nearly done. Please, I implore you. Your sentiment is wasted on me, fool. You are but gold in my purse. Do you have your situation worse by hiring help to protect you? Who are you fools? President wished only to submit. Why not let him? What harm can it do? You should be more worried about the harm I can do. Thank you for the 69 bits. You should be more worried about the harm I can do. Never have I taken a bounty and not delivered. Now stand aside, that I might dispense with this fool and claim my prize. Or would you rather I go through you to get him? Consider well if he is worthy your lives. Okay.
No one meddles with my business, lest they become.
Alrighty then. Everyone will just attack.
Who wants some?
Oh, boo.
My blade will cut down the side.
That one's gonna leave a mark.
And dead. It took 2 hits and I got killed. That was a little bit crazy. Your main character has been killed. Restart the game? Yes, please restart the game. Alright, so here we are.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Way ahead of you, boss. Hi there, Gage. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I'm not even going through the hardest difficulty. I was thinking about you. You said you were in the culinary hospitality industry for a certain number of years. No, that wasn't me. That was my moderator, Blue Foxy Nicey Icy. They were of the opinion that onions were the best vegetable, not potato. And I very much took offense to that because I'm not going to eat an onion raw. Thank you, Tony Abbott, but that's not happening. And right at the get-go, that's why potato is better. You can have potato on its own. You can't have onion on its own. It's insane. Onion, like, I will accept onion being, like, goated in dishes and what have you, but you cannot, like, if you have the option between onion and potato, like, on their own, you're gonna go with potato because you can do so much with the potato as like the main function on its own. You can make that into chips. You can turn that into just a roasted potato. You can turn it into like a hot potato on the campfire. You can turn it into mashed potato if you've got milk and a little bit of salt. Whereas with the onion has to go with all kinds of other vegetables onto like a shish kebab or something like that. Or you slice them and dice them or chop them with your meats or your chickens. Like, you have to do a lot of things with the onion, but the onion goes into a lot of stuff. Like, I will accept the onion being able to go into a lot of different things, but, you know, I'm not going to have an onion on its own. I think the most alone I will have an onion is, like, if I went to, like, the Outback Steakhouse and I wanted to try out what a blooming onion was. You love Baldur's Gate, Gage? Hey, nice to hear. Anyway, let me zoom out. Unpause and keep on going through with this mission. And try not to get... You there. Actually, we're adventurers. Anything else? Yep. Alright, so we now make our way south. I will quick save before we talk to the crazy man Prism. So then that way I have a chance to, you know, not have to go back so far. Oh, wolves. Jesus fucking Christ! The wolf just one-shotted fucking Imoian. That was a little bit nuts. Like, she took...
You're a queer fellow.
She took like 8 damage and was just dead. Insanity. Also, move all this around. What's this potion? Oh, it's an antidote. Okay. What's this one? Clarity. And then we've got rings and thingy-madoogs. And then... Alright, so you've got healing. And a wand of magic missile. 1 magic missile will strike the target, which is 1d4 plus 1 magic. Neat.
Yep.
Nature's servant awaits.
You got nothing really worthwhile. You've got nothing really worthwhile. Oh yeah, these are your boots. Oh wait, maybe. Can you wear leather armor? I do not have any more leather armor to give you, unfortunately. And you are really low on gear. Alright.
Yeah? What do you want?
Onions are flavor enhancers most of the time. To be fair, they are a great flavor enhancer. They bring out a lot of undertones to the food. No, don't pull the lever, bestest boy! You pulled the lever. How dare you? Welcome to the stream, however. How's it going?
Top of my to-do list.
So they are best culinary. However, a potato is the best vegetable in terms of usefulness and variety. I've had Velveta and Bone, like they double teamed on this one. Velveta and Blue, they double teamed me on this one of like, oh, potato is just nothing but starch. It tastes like shit. And I was just sort of like, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me potato tastes like shit. Considering the amount of variations of potato we have gotten in this world right now, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, potato being shit is a shit take. Actually, we're adventurers. Anything else? Yep, cool. All right. Quick save. Cannot save at this time. Quick save? Quick save? All right, cool. Quick save is successful. Nice. All right, now we should be able to deal with the, any wolves that come our way. The fuck is that? A kobold!
Will cut you down.
Alright, we're gonna fuck up this kobold. Oh, damn. That was a... and a short sword just for me. Gotta go wash up my dishes, brush your teeth. After that, I'll be back in the chat. Not to worry, thank you. Good luck with the chores. I need to, you know, do chores like properly at some point in the future, because next Tuesday I've got a house inspection.
No, not I.
The fuck are you? Gal talk. Hey, wait, please wait. You gotta help me. They're after me. They'll be here soon. What's going on? They're kobolds, dozens of them. They captured me and stripped me down. The dirty imps tortured me for no other reason than hear me scream, but I got away. They'll be here soon. We have to run and get out of here. Oh no, it's too late. They're here.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Go for the eyes, Boo!
Really not
Go
in this.
for the eyes! Run!
Link's Eye Gym. Cool. Alright. Alright, so we've got, like, pretty decent gear, as is. Emoing can't really pick up that much new stuff. Gyra can most certainly...
omnipresent authority figure.
Omnipresent. Alrighty.
Huh?
Quick save that.
Yeah, I'll get right on
So then that way... Because every time we go through combat, like, we should probably... Come on. There we go. Did we get anything for our troubles? No, we just gain a little bit of experience, but not that much. It's hard to say what my favorite class is. Either Totemic Druid or Wild Mage. Wait, is that from, like, the classes within here, like the D&D Advanced, or is that from like the more up-to-date like D&D 5th edition? Because I played a little bit of 3.5. I cannot remember everything about 3.5 because they're all in here. Okay. But yeah, I can't remember much about 3.5 because even though like a lot of people argue that was like the quote-unquote best what's-a-moozy, like, some people argue that 3.5 was, like, the best D&D edition. There were 78 supplements. Not, like, story supplements. 78 mechanical supplements to give you all kinds of different, different class abilities and subclasses and all that. It was fucking insane.
Ah, beauteous
I have
creature.
nothing.
You are my masterpiece.
Yep, cool. Awesome. And then, you've played this in 5th, but I've always wanted to play the Lust Domain Cleric in 3.5. They tried doing the Lust Domain in 5th edition. It was an Unearthed Arcana, but unfortunately, when they were making this was going off like sort of after the peak of Me Too and such, and we had to be like this was back in a time when we're, you know, being a lot more critical about, you know, the intentions of things. The Lust Domain for the Cleric was very rapey. It was really weird. Like, for some reason, both mechanically and, like, lore-wise, you could force yourself onto people and force them to die for you and such. And it's like, look, I get it. Like, you want to make the lust domain have some, like, extra mind nonsense, but don't put, you know, rape and, you know, crazy, they will die for you, like, love sickness as a mechanical thing. That's a bit, yeah. So they pulled out Lust Demon from the Unearthed Arcana, and it's like back to the drawing board. Cause like that's a difficult thing. Like, how do you like make? Cause like the lust, like the different domains in Cleric, it's like you need to make them. Like, I feel like the best way you can try and do your flavoring is like the Warlock in their Eldritch Blast. Mechanically speaking, not that big of a change. There are like archetypes where it's like, oh, you might want to make your Eldritch Blast like a souped up elemental damage, or maybe it's going to be a sniper thingy-madiggy. But overall, like, Eldritch Blast of one kind is not going to stop it, isn't going to be like, you know, objectively mechanically stronger than the Eldritch Blast of another kind. And I feel like that's where the domains need to sort of be set up for the clerics and the paladins, is that you can have like some thematic difference between them, so that way, you know, it's actually fun to play and what have you. But if you do that, then there needs to be just only a little bit of mechanical difference. Enough to make people feel tempted to go through one mechanic than the other, but not so much that it's like, oh, there's objectively a better one. Prism wishes only to... Alright, and then... Alright, let's see how... Okay, so Grey Wolf took 8 damage and has gone down like 1 level.
Back of my hand.
And I got one hit it again. Like how Twilight and Peace clerics are. A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Because I think the life domain is like the one where it's like, you know, that one, you're a lot more like cleric healingness. And then war is a lot more whack and protect a little bit. Alrighty.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Let's try this again.
Creature, you are my masterpiece.
Alright, and then... This is us.
None cross Grey Wolf and live.
None cross Grey Wolf. Alright, let's give this a try.
Yeah? What? Way ahead of you, boss.
You're a queer fella. I'm gone.
Cool. Can I help you? I can, but try.
You point, I punch. Full plate and packing
Your wish?
steel.
Do I have any abilities? No, not with you.
Selune guides my hand.
You have need of me?
And then...
No one meddles with my...
What you want? I'm gone.
What? If none are better.
No one meddles with my business unless they become...
Huh?
Okay, how do I make it so that they attack?
Nature's servant awaits.
So, F3. And then...
Yep.
F2. And
Can
then
I help you?
F3.
I am prepared.
F2.
Let's talk more fight.
F2. Alright, let's see.
What you got for me this time?
I don't have any arrows, okay.
I will show you justice!
F2. Grey Wolf, barely injured with all the damage. Here we go. Oh my god, he hits him for like half. Come on, almost there. Oh, Jesus. Come on, almost there. Yes! Alright, unfortunately, one of us is dead. But do not panic.
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss.
Because there is something we can do.
My work will be done.
My work is complete. Take what you will from my possessions, but leave the sparkle in her eyes. Oh, sweet creature, my effigy to thee is done.
Camaraderie, adventure, and steel on steel. The stuff of legend, right, Boo?
Alrighty.
Ryan would be proud of your action.
Who wants some?
Eyes of Truth. Potion of Invisibility. Bastard Sword. Long Sword.
Huh?
You're a queer fellow.
Your wish?
You point, I punch.
Alright, yep, then he can kick on that. Alright. So, yep, so you can wear this. And you can wear that. So that way that will prevent critical hits. Unfortunately, the lady that would be healing is dead. Sun Guy, however, he has the chance to carry all that. And amazingly enough, he can... Alright, hang on a sec. Let me see. What is his skills? Let's see. So, attacks per... So, he can do 2 attacks per round. Base Thaco is 20. Main hand Thaco is 26. Offhand is 30. Okay, so he has proficiencies in the katana, the scimitar, the wakizashi, and the ninjado. Main hand is +4, offhand is +8. Combat stats. Here we go. Sun God. Sun Soul. Sorry. He may cast Soul Sunray once per day. Flaming Fist. Where it skills? Nope. Abilities. There we go. Damage is +1. Missile adjustment reaction. Okay. Hopefully what I'm doing will work. Wait, hang on. Emits a dazzling burst of... Oh, wait, that's when he goes up to a higher level. Projects this from his open palm, dealing 1d8 fire for every 2 casters to a maximum of 5d8s to a single target. Undead take an additional 6 points of damage. Cool. Meanwhile, you have a racial enemy null. So he has weaponized racism. he hits nulls for more. Let's see. 2-handed sword, he gets double. 2 weapon style, he also gets more as well. So he does not have a means to identify this weapon, unfortunately. But if he does, it would help. Wait, is this a 2-handed? Yep, so that's a 2-handed. The Bastard Sword is 1-handed for 1d4. This is 1d10, 1d6. Alright, so what we should probably do is change him to 2-handed. And then that way he's able to go between the 2. Seems good. Proficiency is +2, strength modifier -2. Base Thaco 20. Am I reading that? Like, should the number be higher? Wait, so base Thaco. Baldur's Gate. Here we go. Is an acronym to hit armor class 0. It is a number that represents the chances that a physical attack. Okay, so he needs to hit at least. So his base Thaco, he needs to roll a 20 in order to hit armor class 20. But if it's an armor class 3, then he only needs to hit. He hits on 17s. So I need to reduce that. This makes it so Thaco goes to 17. This makes it so that Thaco is 20. All right, so yeah. All right. Attack roll if it's greater than or equal to Thaco minus. Okay, so with a Thaco of 17, tries to hit a target with an AC of 1, needs a roll of 17 minus 1, which is 16. To succeed, this is a chance of 5 out of 12. Okay, hang on. Is always a succeed, and a roll of 1 is always a miss. Sorry, I'm just reading something right now. Because 2nd edition D&D decided to, like, fuck up with, like, you know, just Why didn't they just make armor? Anyway, not important. All right. So, in order to like, hang on. There's like a table, isn't there? Thaco table. Where is this the right table? Thaco is an acronym to hit armor class 0. It refers to a roll required to score a hit on a hypothetical with an armor class of 0, which in turn is used to calculate other attack rolls. Is associated with advanced D&D. All right. Give me a second. I am going to save this image, and I'm just going to forever add it onto the... We're just going to have this, like, forever floating in our... Where is the WebP? There we go. Ding. We're going to put this in here behind all the foreground elements. All right. So this is the table we are going to be looking at. I'm going to leave you here. Can I do an opacity? Apply alpha in the link. No. I'm going to need to do a filter. It's going to be... Is it color correction? Color correction. Let's see. Opacity. There we go. All right. We're going to make this like 0.01. Unless, does it not like that? No. 0.1. No, that's too low. 2. All right, I reckon 3 should be okay. So sitting up in the top left here is our Thaco. So if someone has an armor class of 0, we need to roll a 20. Wait, by level of the attacker. Does that make sense? Hang on. The 20-sided die to hit by level of attacker. No, that doesn't make sense. That's not the table I want. How the fuck how did people play 2nd edition? Honestly, like, this is a little bit insane. All right.
What you got for me this time?
First and foremost, save. We're going to do a new save here, and this is going to be post 1 death.
Way ahead of you, boss.
And is there a way for me to get to... I need to get to, like, the bigger map. World map. Oh, I can't travel until I'm, like, here. Alrighty. This is the problem with this game. This is probably my least favorite part of the Baldur's Gate so far, is just the amount of, like, delay there is, so to speak, in getting from, like, one place to the other. Okay, so M is just the... Alright, can we get in here? Looks like we can. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I will show you justice! I will...
My blade will cut you down to size!
I will show you justice!
Sorry, dogs. You're in my way. I don't know why, but you were in my way.
Top of my to-do list.
Thank you. Nothing in there. Hey, potion of healing. Definitely am going to keep an eye on that.
Top of my to-do list.
Alright, so this is one of the things I read in, like, a guide and such, explaining, like, how the fuck do you get people back when they die and shit. We need a temple. And so hopefully these guys will be helpful. So we need to find a temple, because at this temple we can go for, like, religious services, and one of them is, you know, being able to resurrect people. Now, so we need to be relatively quick in trying to you know, resurrect them, because we only have so many days. Let's see. So we got Temple of Helm. Okay, maybe Temple of Helm is what we want. Hopefully there's someone in there to help us, Lol, that's kind of funny. Yep, map notes is what we want. Come on, let us in.
You have need of me?
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss.
All right.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Hopefully this man helps us.
Ah,
Intrepid
adventurers at our door.
Helm guards all over the realm, and his servants are at our disposal. The valiant one stands ready to main the elements and so divert the unyielding gaze of the great guide. For a suitable donation, of course. Just to demonstrate our mutual goodwill. You understand. Helm watch over you and our poor lost brother Braj. A finer captain of the guard could nary be found this side of Om. Such a strange chance for one so devout as he. One does not simply what services do you have? Alright. First and foremost... alright, so... we need buy and sell, donate... Here we go. Healing. Raise dead. The selected character is brought back from the dead. They are now alive. And she's healed herself. Winter Wolf Pelts, Temple... The tale of Captain Braj at the helm, and now seems to think that Braj might be under the influence of some evil force. If I return Braj to the temple, he might not be killed for his crimes. Where? Where is he?
Helm watch over thee upon thy quest.
Alright, let's try and identify this thing. Varskona +2. Jesus. Blades of this type were long used by the Sharon priest during the sacrificial rites of Feast of the Moon. Thank you for the follow, Miss... Mr. Saggy Puss. Are you a Saggy Puss? Is that why you're the Mr. Saggy Puss? This is very important information to know. How's it going?
Both of these nuts.
These nuts. Alright. Cool. Alright, so this gives a Thaco +2, damages 1d8 +2, and an additional cold damage. With slashing as a longsword, one-handed, requires 5 strength. This is most certainly going to be thrown to my, This is most certainly going to be thrown to Minsk. Good on you, Minsk. Potion... Oh my god, Potion of Healing is fucking expensive. What the fuck? Why is Potion of Healing so expensive? Alright. And we can't sell anything.
Huh? Top of my to-do list. What you got for me this time?
Alright, you need some gear again. Alright, here we go. So, you will wear the studded thingamajiggies. You got your quarterstaff again. And... okay, so you can do a short sword if you wanted to. Okay, so that's Thaco 23. This makes it Thaco 20. Alright, so you got better longsword nonsense. Let's have a look. Nice. Wait, can't I wield this? Yes, I can. My Thaco go... oh, because I'm not proficient with this kind of weapon. That's the dealio. I'm not proficient with that kind of shit. Also, I can probably start moving some of my stuff to Minsk. So I'm really not going to be holding on. I really should not be holding on to so much stuff. Alright. How does that do? Strength modifier -1? Like... Proficiency +3, Verona +2, so it doesn't -1. Oh. I need to lower this number because I'm not proficient with it. Okay. That makes a little more sense. When can I... 70 to next XP, 403, 77, 1,178, 914, 1,400 and something or other. Okay. Save. Overwrite. Alright, so now everyone is alive. Alright, now we can... Way ahead of you, boss. Alright, we gotta head to that bridge there. In 5th edition, the Moon Druid and the Battlesmith Artificer are your typical picks. Nice. My go-to choice in 5th edition, and is the choice that I've made in this one here, just because of, like, you know, the type advantage and such like that, is I've gone for the Dwarf. And normally when I go for a Dwarf, I just, you know, roll a random dice on, you know, what it is I'm going to be playing and such. Edwin.
Go no further. I require the services of your group. Yes.
I will not without knowing the facts. I refuse.
Hey!
I am Nuber. Nice place, huh? What's...
Hey!
Kill any monsters yet?
Hey!
Ever been to Baldur's Gate? I've been to... I think I stepped in something. Cool. Don't need to know more from you, Nuber. Alright, takes me there.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. That gives me the impression of someone who will not get in on that. Gotta be extra careful here. So yeah, we're heading back to the Knoll Stronghold, and the reason for this is because I know exactly where I'm going with the Knoll Stronghold this time. I was running up and around it like an idiot, but this time around, I know better.
You appear troubled. Does a shadow lie upon your soul?
How did you become a Sun Soul?
It seems so long ago that I first joined the Order. Thinking of those days, my mother gave up her own life to give life to me.
Oh.
Without her help, my father struggled to raise me and my older brother Gamaz. Life in Calimport is hard for those not born to wealth and privilege. When he could no longer pay his rising debts, my father was condemned to the Arena Efretum, where he fought and died for the entertainment of the people. His death left Gamaz and me to scratch out a life upon the streets. One day, Gamaz was... From that day forward, we learned the mysteries of Selune and trained our bodies, minds, and spirits to spread her light to others. Indeed, by showing us mercy, the monks of the Order elevated Gamaz and me from what might otherwise have become a desperate existence. I shall never forget the light they shone upon us. How may I enlighten you?
Yeah, we'll talk later. Right on that. I don't know why you started talking to me while we're in the middle of a quote-unquote battlefield, but sure.
Please, kind spirits. A wondrous ancient oak is in peril.
Yep, let's go help out this dryad.
Hey there.
I don't know who you are, but I'll not have you sneaking around behind us while we work. We think there's treasure in this tree, and if you want to get up front and help, do it. Otherwise, me and Crumb will do something, well, something real nasty. Ain't that right, Crumb? Well, if you're not gonna help, I'm gonna let you sit and watch us do it. You were probably gonna rob us when we're done, what you? Don't cotton to bandits one bit, do we? What?
My training did not prepare me for such extended activity.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes!
God damn it.
A place to die than the battlefield.
Yeah? What do you want? Top of my to-do list.
Top of my to-do list.
Way ahead
You
of you,
appear
boss.
troubled. Does a shadow lie upon your soul? It seems so long from that day forward. Indeed. How may I enlighten you?
That's enough reminiscing for now. Oh, because he's got like 2 less health. Like that would probably do. All right, let me give you a potion. Drink it, and you should be good. Alrighty.
Please, kind spirits. A wondrous ancient oak is in peril.
Alright, time to save an oak tree.
Hey there. I'm called
I feel so cold.
I've done had enough of this.
Cool one, son. Can I help you?
Huh?
What you want?
Your point. Squeaky wheel gets the kick.
Damn it.
Poor skin not alive I am.
What is she doing? Why are you running away? Why is she... Oh, so she failed her morals. Okay. Weird.
Yeah?
And it wasn't the fucking...
Top of my to-do
God damn it, it wasn't the what's-mahoozy that failed this time. It was the, was Minsk. So much... There's gonna be a lot of...
Troubled. Does a shadow lie upon your soul? It seems when his day, one day, from that day forward, we learned the mystery. How may I enlighten you?
Alrighty,
My blade will cut you down to size.
No, I'm really not in this.
You got this coming! You got this coming!
Go for the eyes! Rusk!
Alright, so who can wield
You're a
that?
queer
Nature.
fellow.
Servant
Can I
awaits.
help you? Cool one, son.
Alright. Higher damage, but... Oh, higher chance of damage, but the roll is lower. Fists 1d2, short sword 1d6. So 6 to 11 versus 6 to 15. We'll give you a try. We could honestly rest here before we go further.
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Here we go.
Please, kind spirits. A wondrous ancient oak is in
I'll do
peril.
what I can to help.
What you got for me this time?
What you want?
You have need of me? I'll do my best.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Yeah? What do you want?
My blade will cut you down to size.
I will show you just
really not
go
in this.
for the eyes! Rusk!
There we go. Easy. Ooh, flail. A club, a girdle, some healing, and some coin.
Top of my to-do list.
My tree is in such...
Nice. And we leveled up. Alrighty. Who can level up? I am ready to level up. Excellent. Okay. I do not have any proficiency bonuses to apply because I'm all about the short sword and the single weapon. Alright, hide in the shadows. I am going to increase a butt ton because the stealth nonsense is not working for me. You can't level up. You're ready to level up. You've got no proficiencies. Alright. Thaco reduced by 1. Additional priests spells, level 1 spells 1. Additional hit points 12. Lore increased by 1. Nice. Nice. How does that actually look for you? Thaco 19. Okay. We have some things to research. Alright, so she can't use that blade. He would... Actually, you would probably benefit from this blade. How much more of a blade is it for you? Oh, it's a lot more of a blade for you. Awesome. Cool. I made the right decision. And then I've got that armor, which... Oh, you're not wearing any armor. Can I give it to you? No, I can't give that to you. You're not carrying anything, so I'm probably just gonna start offloading all that shit to you then. There we go. So yeah. Is there anything in that tree? No, there isn't. Okay, cool. Zoom out. Nothing on the map. Oh. Alright.
I will show you justice!
There we go.
Sunny or not, it is nice to enjoy the out of doors.
Do you have a potion? Yes, you do. Drink it.
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Don't know why she wouldn't. Cool, waterfall. Oh, we can look in it? What's in it? A dead cat. Okay. Weird.
I will show you justice. Go for the eyes! Rask! Go for the eyes! Go for the eyes! Rask!
My blade will cut you down to size.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rask!
Your wish?
You point, I punch.
Alrighty.
What's your top of my to-do list? Yeah? What do you want?
Yep.
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure.
Yes. I am prepared.
Let's talk more fight.
Yep. Alrighty.
Top of my to-do list.
Can I talk to the... The squirrel has nothing to say. Of course the squirrel has nothing to say. Why would I think the squirrel had something to say? Idiot. Alright, let's see. Does this... No, that doesn't take me to a world map. Is it because I'm, like, at the edge of the thingy-majiggies? Yeah, this traversal is insane. This traversal is not great. It is a bit jank. Actually, no, not jank. It is just not that great.
Can I help you?
My blade will cut you down to size.
Nice.
If none are better.
What you way ahead of you, boss?
I look forward to your instruction.
Give you the potion so you can drink it.
I care not.
Yeah, way ahead of you, boss.
Way ahead of you. A lot of micromanagement. Oh, this guy's got a name. Wretched fortress. If you go there, go to conquer. What fortress do you mean? The fortress to the west. I wish to roast the captives when the others would rather let her live within the cellar. Fools, and now my brethren make me an exile from my own clan. Hear me, I shall taste her flesh yet. It seems she's still alive. Cool. Hey, there's the... Awesome. 24 hours. Alright.
My training did not prepare me for such extended activity.
I quick saved before we did the rest, so hopefully there isn't going to be any like sneak attack nonsense. Nice, there isn't.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Me now. Me hungry.
You have no arrows to use. You have arrows, but not a lot. You don't do that. You've got arrows. You don't have much. You're not using arrows. Oh, you can... Shillelagh. What's Shillelagh? This create a magical cudgel that gets a +1 to its attack roll and inflicts 2d on opponents. Doom. Causes a feeling of doom to overwhelm for the duration of the spell. Receives a -2 penalty to all his attacks, including saving throw. Nice. And you don't have anything. I don't have anything. You don't have anything. Oh, you've got something? Apparently you can learn shit? What are you? You're just a... Okay, you're just a ranger. Okay.
Stop! You go nowhere. It's our bridge. You pay to walk it.
Yeah, I'm not paying 100 gold to
Go
cross.
for the eyes, boo! Go for the eyes!
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
There we go.
Your wish?
Cool one, son.
Huh?
Nice.
Top of my to-do list.
And then... Okay, so we can't go down there. Can't... So up here is a fork. And one other knoll that we can face. Should be around here. I guess not. Alright, cool. So... Also, oh, Jesus. Low power. Okay, so... Phone cannot sustain... I need to... Sorry, I just need to plug in the charger for this thing. There we go. Hopefully... Charge? There we go. Charging.
For the fallen!
My blade will cut you down to size.
I'll leave those weapons behind. There's gotta be a... Wait, did I miss the path is the question. Like, did this go further? Yes, it did go further. Okay, cool. So yeah, one of the things I'm doing is, rather than having my phone, like, normally where it's up here above my monitor, I'm experimenting with having it below, like, sort of under my monitor here, because normally I'm, like, looking down and all this kind of nonsense. One of the disadvantages, however, is that I went and got myself, like, one of those wireless chargers to see how that would do. If I leave it on for... One of the things that happened to the iPhone is that it, like, decided to give me a warning of, like, oh, it's a little too hot right now. You're gonna need to, you know, lower its temperature or something like that. Lower the temperature before using it any further. So I had it running for a little, like, it went from, like, 80% to, let's see, that's an hour and a half. So from 80% and an hour and a half ago to 20%, which is not that great. Especially compared to, you know, normally I have it, like, plugged in, you know, via cable. I think it doesn't overheat when it's just plugged in directly into a charger via the port, rather than plugged in, or, sorry, rather than charging via wirelessly. Because I think because of the generating heat thing, when it's wireless, it, you know, it's problematic.
Cut you down the side.
I will show you justice!
I will show you justice. Nice. Alrighty. So, but at least with the wireless charging, it actually charges and what have you. But, like, whether it does that or not, the thing that I'm, like, more concerned about is whether or not it does, like, the capture of my face, like, you know, to a decent level. Because if it doesn't do it, then it's not worth... Oh my Jesus Christ.
You're a queer fellow. What you want?
Alrighty.
What you got for me this time?
Oh, my inventory is full. I can't pick that up. Yeah, it is full. Alright. You're gonna hold on to that nonsense. Okay, I probably don't need to carry everything. Now, cool. So that blade hasn't broken. You're just out of arrows. You can probably hold on to a few more things.
You've a task?
Yeah? What do you want?
Alright, quick save.
Way ahead of you, boss.
You point, I punch.
You point, I punch. Alright. Who has... You have a healing potion. Okay, cool. Actually, you kind of need to drink that.
Nature's servant awaits.
Huh?
There we go.
Top of my to-do list.
Nothing in here for us then. Wrong cave.
Top of my to-do list.
Top of my to-do list.
I will show you justice.
There we go. Where are you going? There we go.
I will show you justice. You got this coming! I I will show you
My
justice.
blade will cut you down to size.
You have need of me?
Alright, we're gonna change everyone.
What you got? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down.
Alright, let's see how everyone does AI-wise.
I will show you justice.
I am prepared.
Do you have any abilities?
Please, aid me. I shall commit to the task.
Ting. Damn it, no one has... Oh wait, I do. Okay, cool. Give it to you. Nah, batteries still go... Okay, so... Wireless charging... Oh, and it's even making my phone go hot. Alright, so wireless charging, not that great. And we're gonna have to go back to this. There we go. Alrighty. Hopefully that looks better for you guys.
Yeah?
No, I
What do you
don't.
want?
Yes, or the group.
Damn it, you've already used your
Way
spell,
ahead of
you
boss.
idiot. I was in the middle of healing him already. Alrighty,
Yep.
special abilities. Set snare.
Less talk, more fight.
I look forward to your instruction.
You've a task?
Yes?
Never mind.
Which is way ahead of you.
Everyone is...
Cool one. Full plate and packing steel.
Is he wearing full plate? He's wearing splint. So it's not exactly the same. Oh my god, he's failing all of his fucking...
You point, less talk, cool. You point, I punch. Full plate and packing steel.
God damn it. Cool, you got out of that.
What do you want?
Waste of a fucking snare. Alright, we're resting in here. Hopefully nothing attacks us.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Has ended, now loses the extra previously gained. If it's below, he or she will be knocked unconscious. Okay, so you get
Top of my to-do list.
I am honestly surprised that he gets extra health.
Go for the eyes, boo.
You
Go
got
for
this
the eyes.
coming!
Rask! Go for the eyes, boo.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Rask!
There we go.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright, hang on. Your inventory is filled. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw most of this to you. Because I can't carry any more. There we go. Alright, so that's that cave done. Where?
Adventure and steel on steel.
Like,
the stuff of legend.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Where is your buddy? I've been going through all the different caves. If their buddy is, like, dead, this is gonna be a very disappointing... I'm gonna be real with you, chat. This is not 100% fun. I kind of know how D&D works. D&D is more of a storytelling mechanic than a fun combative mechanic. I get that, you know... BioWare? You probably meant... no, that just makes us go around in a loop. Oh, fucking boy. Oh, and at least she gets to level up. Nice. And we're gonna have set trap increase. Done. Cool. Are you sure you want to dual cast? No, we do not want to dual cast.
Huh?
Oh my goodness. Where? Oh. Pick up all that. Alright, hang on. So this is for rescuing what's-mahoozies. Alright, open a new tab. Rescuing Dinah here. Alright, here we go. Upon recruiting Minsk, he will ask to rescue from the Null Stronghold. Wow, this subreddit does not help me. Where in the world is Drynear? Here we go. I've already played and thought it would be good to get She is trapped down in one of the deep round pits. Just go down there with one of your peeps to talk to her to make her join you. She's in a pit that's on the far right side of the Null. Oh, okay, so she is actually in one of the Null strongholds. So I just need to head to, like, a pit. Great. All right, well, now time for, like, the slow... Chat, are you there? Or am I just, like, talking into the void and people are realizing this is not a great sort of, backdrop for me to play? Yunk. All right. Dink. Ah, excuse me. Nose. Ah. Maybe I want to turn over to Fortnite. Just be like, I'm sick and tired of these RPG mechanics. We're gonna go play Fortnite with the boys. Alright, so, note to self, she's in a pit to the far right, they said.
My blade will cut you down to size.
For the fallen!
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go!
My blade will cut you down to size.
Just get rid of them.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
What you got for me this time?
I care not.
Nature's servant awaits.
You're a queer fellow.
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss.
Can I help you?
Your wish? Selune guides my hand.
Less talk, more squeaky wheel gets the kick!
Huh?
Have need of me?
No!
What you got for me this time?
All right, hopefully this works out. Oh, no, we're ensnared as well. That's not great.
Yes?
Oh wait, you can...
Please.
For the fallen!
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rask!
Come on.
Yeah? What do you want?
An angel skin ring.
Do you want to tell me a story about trollops and plugtails? Please? I know nothing more, so leave me to go.
Alright, so... Another one bites the dust.
Huh? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh, my heart's beating up.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rask!
Monk dies quite a bit. Oh, there she is.
Tea is refreshing. So
I thank thee for saving me. 'Twas courageous to follow the likes of Minsk into battle. If a touch foolish, I have naught to offer thee in return, save my services in battle. Mayhaps I could travel with thee a while, and an opportunity may arise for repayment of my debt. Minsk is well, but he hath a strong sword arm, whilst I am practiced in the arcane arts. Shall we join? You are welcome into my company. One cannot earn too many friends. Alright. We are going to remove the monk. The monk is technically dead, so don't panic.
What you got for me this time?
Alright. So yeah, she's nearly dead. Who's holding on all to the spell? Alright. You can pass them on to her. So then that way I will have her, let's see, so write down magic, copied into the spellbook. Write down magic, copied into the spellbook. Write down magic, copied into the spellbook. Excellent. You have your things. So she's got a lot of magic shit, so I need to be aware of that. She's an invoker. Combat skill. Alright. So, her two spells are Magic Missile. Cool. Awesome. So she's got 2 spells in her back pocket right now.
Yeah? Top of my to-do list.
Would have been nice if she had more spells, but sure.
Can I help you?
Inventory is full. You grab the short sword. She can't use any of these weapons.
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alrighty. You there. You are now all going to go to the overworld map. Big stretch. Big stretch. Ugh. Oh, shit.
whatever they need. As directed.
What you got for me this time?
My blade will cut you down to size.
Yeah, lady, you do not have any magic. Unless we're willing to rest in, like, the middle of a thingy-madiggies. Oh, God. Alright,
Huh?
Good on you if you saved the day.
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure.
What you got for me this time? Top of my to-do
For
list.
the fallen! For the fallen!
Back home, Cuff would always tell me a
Yeah,
story.
I'll get right on that.
Alrighty, cool. So now I have to actually, like, take this slow. Joy! Oh, I need to stop, like, doing the bounce. I forgot I had the animation for the whole, like, you know, flexing my arms and stretching. Alright, hopefully there will be no issues as we make it all the way over to the what's-in-my-place. Also, arrows. We are going to need to purchase a lot of arrows. Dink, through here, to get to...
You have been waylaid by enemies and must
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
All right.
Winter... Oh my god, the Winter Wolf does magic? What the fuck? Why does the Winter Wolf do magic?
What you want?
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Jesus.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Absolute insanity. They just decide to fucking... Alright, we're gonna head to the store. Everyone in town used to throw rocks at me, and I tell them I'm knowing. Oh, okay. Weird, but okay. Reveal details. Ah, cool. Nice. A belching dragon flagon. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Buy some shit, rest in the tavern, head over to the mines, continue with our exploration. Alright,
top of my to-do list.
Talk to the shopkeeper.
Business has been poor, what with the iron shortage.
Good on you, here's a fair price. Oh! I gained gold. Damn it, I gained a lot of gold. I gained a lot of gold for that. Okay. Alright, so identify the gauntlets, which are gauntlets of dexterity. Equipped abilities, dexterity 18. Cannot be used by the Kensei or the wizards. Neat. First and foremost, the Jasper gem and the Isle gem sell. Then we are going to need arrows. So you are going to need arrows. 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know what? Let's buy 5. So you need to buy 2 more. Can you use them? Yes, you can. And then History of the Faithful Coin. I don't know if that's necessary. Alright. Done. So yeah, you have no... Oh, okay, so this improves my armor cast from a 3 to a 2. I'll accept that. Okay, you can only hold 80 arrows at once. I'm fine with that. He's holding on to 8. Donk. There you go. So you're holding on to 48. Everyone is nearly dead. She can't wear that. Silver ring. Amulets are usually magical devices commonly worn around the neck. When agility increases the items, though it's not only one, can be dangled from the neck at a time. And then that's an eye gem thing. Magical shit. And then we've got like a girdle and a club.
My prices are the best south of Waterdeep.
Alright, so they can't check the tome. You don't have any magical shit. You're the one with the magical shit. From leg chairs to fell trees, clubs are the universal weapon of everyone from tavern brawlers to hill giants. A little extra weight, maybe a spike or two, and a little enhancement never hurts. What is to say, it always hurts. Okay, so that's just a +1 club then. And this is a destroyer of hills. It won't let me click on it. All right, done. Inventory, go back to hers. What's the destroyer of hills? Having lost friends and loved ones to a series of raids by hill giants, Gar the Powerful made it his mission to cleanse his homeland of their presence. It is not known where he acquired this item, but with it he single-handedly dispatched dozens of the creatures, all the while protected from the blows of their clubs. The remaining giants fled to neighboring lands that lacked a similar champion and did not fare as well. Armor class +4 against crushing, not usable by wizard slayers. I'm going to give that to you to wear, so then that way you're not, in so much danger. Who had the club? You had the club, didn't you? Yes. You would be better off So yeah, the +1 club is yours. And we are going to get out of here. And we are going to fucking... We're going to enjoy some... Nice, well-deserved, Czar?
Something troubling you?
No. Oh, goddamn you. Oh, goddamn you. There we go.
Your voice is ambrosia. I must rest. I have a bad case of armor chief.
Alrighty. So now we can talk to the innkeeper.
Never had rats.
Alright.
No, sorry.
Everyone, okay, so an adequate quiz will be likely to be fair. A favor to the frugal business traveler. Are comfortable, good. Went to that. And we can't do royal, so let's do noble. Let's really live it. Let's see what we get for it. There we go. Everyone is fully healed except for Minsk. First, everyone in the inn rests for 8 hours and recovers hit points. Spells are successfully memorized. That is obviously not true because Minsk still only has 8 points.
Top of my to-do list.
Unless that's just a limitation, weird-ass limitation. All right. Excuse me. Nose. I wonder if there's a way of, like, seeing even non-partied members.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Yes, I know. There we go.
Top of my to-do list.
Can they explain...
Helm, watch over thee upon thy quest.
Alright. Identify the tome. Tome of Leadership and Influence. One of the most popular recent tomes of leadership and influence is the cynically entitled book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like others of its ilk, it peddles a philosophy of personal ascendancy and manipulation by charisma alone. The author and advocates of such tomes claim that by drawing on the most recent theories in sociology and in interpersonal psychology, it is possible to raise an individual's charisma by a single point. In truth, such increase in personal charisma are the products of magical spells placed on the text as it is written in the writing process. These same spells also cause the tome to disappear after their first use. An excellent marketing strategy, you must concede. Raises by 1 point permanently, consumed upon use. Nice. Stone to Flesh Scroll, Elixir of Health, and Healing.
Furry Cures 1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Alrighty then. I'll do the 20 squats. How's chat finding this? Big stretch! Excuse me, nose. Big stretch for the big boy. How is chat finding this game? Granted, I waffled a little bit in this particular session for the last, 2 hours. I'm wondering what people's thoughts are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Furry Cures. Thank you for the 20 squats. Alright, let's get out of here.
Party before venturing forth.
Oh, no, cancel.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright, so everyone is healed. Scratch my ear, just real quick. What kind of weapons can she use? Okay, so she can use a sling. Probably should have gotten myself a sling while I was at it. She's got magic missile. And that's about it in her forte. 18 on the strength, 18 on the dexterity, 19 on the constitution, 10, 10, and 12. Yay, my reputation is that I'm popular. Don't have much use for backstabbing just yet. Excuse me. Alright, back to the mines. God fucking damn it, hobgoblins. Can't read for shit.
My heart's really not in this.
You will be avenged!
Good night. Not to worry, Gage. If you gotta sleep, you gotta sleep. Thank you for... Oh, God. Load. Load the autosave.
Yeah? What do you want? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
What's the traveling...
Top of my to-do list.
What's this one? I love how Gage says goodnight, and then Furry Curious is like, oh, hi there!
My muse shall not speak to such as thee.
There she lay, pale and bloodless at my side. Woeful be the path of the elves, said I. Woeful be the path of all who trod this glade. For Nostafasu, once fair love, has died. Oh, she has died. Missed the... Okay. The Great GrantZeebs.
I'm always ready to entertain.
Allow me to introduce... Could not care. I'm sorry, it sounded like someone just fucking died. Oh, no. He's fine. Cool. Good for him. Would have been weird if he died.
You have been and must defend yourself.
Oh, I'm really not into this.
Go for the eyes, Boo!
Top of my to-do list.
You got this coming!
And once again, she dies because we got waylaid.
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss. Yeah, I'll
There
get
we
right
go.
on that.
Ridiculous. Ah. Excuse me. That was... Would you like to see me play something else? Wait, northwest, so... Also, we need to get a sling for her as well. Alright. Hopefully from... Lol, we can steal the eyes if we wanted. You're fine? Okay. Where in the world is the entrance to the mines? We must be close. All right, let's see how this gets us there. Really? They have no clue how to get down there? I suppose. All right.
Gorion would be proud of your actions.
Thank you, Thalid. I'm glad that you're totally fine with me this time, rather than saying that we need better leadership or some shit. That's great to hear. God, the sound of nighttime unnerves me.
Oh, I'm so
I'm here breaking my back to feed my family. What's your excuse? Looking for adventure? You'll find it below if you're fool enough. The dead walk beneath the earth. Nice. Sounds terrible. Oh, Emerson, we need to go talk to you.
So you want to take a look at me mine, do you?
I don't need to be... I really don't be needing adventuring fools wondering about me mines, especially ones that think they can trump about with nary a thought about asking permission. You've got one day. If I see you after that, I'll have a new shaft dug for each of you. Got that? Good. Alright.
Stand away!
I wish you guys, whatever there's been causing all the trouble, it isn't something I'd want to run into. Cool.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Will do.
Top of my to-do list.
Minor Gourd.
Oh, I'm so...
More adventurers, I'd leave while you still can if I were you. I've heard awful stories about what's been happening to those that go deeper into the mines. Why? What have you heard? Well, my friend Ruffy barely escaped with his life, he did. Little demons jumped out of the very walls and chased him down. He'd be dead now if it weren't for the guards that came running, because them guards are dead now. Old Ruffy's around here somewhere. You ask him what he saw and he can tell you. Sure, just let me investigate some shit. Cool, longsword. And... that's about it. Ruffy, tell me more. What do you want?
There's much work to be done.
Tell me about the mines. What's been making the miners disappear? Demons! The little devils are everywhere, I tell you. From the walls they're coming. They're going to kill us all! Nice. Contaminated iron. Interesting. Delask? Oh, it's just another fool here to save us. Go ahead, try to get rid of the minds of all their evil and get yourself killed like the last couple. Last couple what? Adventurers, you idiot! You think they're the first to try and save us all? Not likely. Not gonna be the last, I'll wager, either.
So dark down here.
Thank you. Excuse me, nose. Not doing so great. I will accept the dagger, however.
I think I'm coughing up blood.
A visitor! Oh, glorious day! We don't get many down here, as you can imagine. Are you going to be going down into the mines? If so, could you return this dagger to Kylie? He dropped it when he went into the mines the other day, and I haven't seen him since. Sure. Thank you so much. Alright, awesome. So we've got... oh, hang on. My friend Gorion, please forgive the abruptness from which I now write, but time is short and there's much to be done. What we long feared may soon... oh, what? Why did I drop... I should not have been dropping that skull. Inventory is... oh, that's why.
Nature's servant awaits.
Huh?
Alright, so, let's have a look. What can I... oh, paste it in the quick item. And then... alright, who's got minimal slots? Alright. You can't carry too much. You can carry a lot more, so I'm going to start throwing some of this nonsense to you. What's this? Potion of Hill Giant Strength. Nice. Alright, now I should be good. So we got a dagger and Kylie's dagger. Nice.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Getting right on it. Ready to work.
What you got for me this time?
Alright, so we can't explore any further that way. Kobolds down this way. Meanwhile, my dwarf is just very far behind.
Stand away, citizen!
Don't know what's been happening to the ore, and I don't rightly care. I'm here to protect the miners, and that don't include poking around in the depths. Noted. Marvin? Hello? Is there something,
coughing up blood.
Didn't you know the mines are haunted? You saw something? Of course I saw, yep.
I think I'm coughing up blood.
Anything here? Nah, I can't detect anything. Alright. Down this way we go.
Leave us be.
Finally, someone has come to save us. Do you know something about what's happening here? Sure, I know what's happening. What do you want to know? What about the missing miners? Oh, them. I told them before they went, tried to Try to, at least. Naturally, there must be a dragon down there killing them all. He must be mad about us mining his hill, poor thing. That does not sound believable.
Leave us be.
Do you know something about... Have you heard of any creatures? Just the dragon is all. I haven't actually seen him, but who knows what else. Are you fucking kidding me? What about the ore? We don't ship as much out as we used to. We do pretty well considering the shortage of people we have here. Alrighty, so... Alright. Let's try this map. We need to try and get deeper into this mine. Try and solve this mystery. Does this get us where we need to go? Yes, it does. God damn it. I really wish I could rotate this map. If there's one thing I'm not liking about trying to traverse this thing, like, more than anything, it's the fact that any attempts in trying to, you know, get to places... Tool tips. Is there anything I'm missing? No, not really. Oh my gosh. Alright.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Hopefully it's this way?
Stand away, citizen!
Hopefully this is the right direction. Like, I just want to rotate it, like, however many degrees. But there's, like, no way to do so. Alright, maybe it is this thing, because then... Or it's that, because that's, like, looking to be doing that downstairs or something. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I'm hoping this is not how... Oh, there we go.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Help! Help!
They're coming! The yipping demons! They're everywhere! Save me!
My blade will cut you down to size.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
Yeah? What do you want?
My blade will cut you down to size.
Fallen!
There we go.
Can I help you?
Huh?
Alright, so you are going to get a short bow as a safety measure. 75. You don't have any thingamadoogies. You will get a few arrows. So that should help us out just a little bit. Alright. I don't need this many short swords.
What you got for me this time? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Go for the eyes,
Yeah?
Boo.
What do you want?
Go for the eyes! Rusk!
More miners.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Working double shift. Or in the lower levels is getting tainted and people do not understand why. Alrighty.
Go for the eyes, Boo. Go for the eyes! Rusk!
For us! I always have.
Go for the eyes, boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
You got this coming!
Wait, can she use? No, she can't.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh. Dead bodies. Should have gotten a sling for her sooner.
Stand away, citizen!
Uh-huh, he's just looking to protect people, I see. Alright, can't go further that way. Let's try looking over here. Oh yeah, I should probably...
What do you want?
There we go.
Top of my to-do list.
Oh, my heart's really not in this. Oh, my heart's really not in this.
Nose curses. Alright, a lot of fucking kobolds.
Go for the eyes!
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
There we go. A vial of mysterious liquid. Alright, you can hold on to that. And this. I'll put you in my quiver as well. Potion of agility, cold resistance, clarity, and antidote. Alright, does this go any further? From the looks of it, it does. Does it go down a floor is the question. Yes, it does. Awesome.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Yep. Yep. Alright,
What you got for me this time?
Yep, so you're a bow and arrow.
You're a queer
You're a bow
fellow.
and arrow.
Yes, oh,
You're using the
present
club. You're a bow
authority
and arrow.
figure. They wish my ear.
Joseph's greenstone ring.
Yeah? What do you want? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
And then we got a split. Joins up again. There we go. That's what we want to see.
You got this coming!
You've
Huh?
What you want?
You got this coming!
As directed.
Nature's servant awaits. As you direct.
Oh, did her ensnare not work? Jesus.
What you got for me this time?
Yep.
Yes?
I care not.
Yeah? What do you want?
Can I help you?
You point. Aye. Butt kicking for goodness!
Oh.
Whatever they need. As directed.
What are these peeps doing?
Huh?
What was that? Oh my gosh, that did not go as well as planned.
Yeah? What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss. Top of my to-do list.
Alright, so.
Cool one, sir.
Alright. Give you the bow. There we go. Yep, cool. So you're holding on to 80, you're holding on to 73. You can't use a bow. I don't have a sling to give you. Okay.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick.
Huh? Top of my to-do list. What you got? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, so what's down here then that they felt like they needed to put a trap?
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
Forgotten! For right! And I always am.
There we go. Nope. Alright. Gosh darn. Slow and meticulous you have to be with this.
You got this coming! For right! For right! My blade will cut you down to size!
As soon as possible, get her a sling.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
You got this coming!
Also, how can I make that, let's see, font size, did that do any? No, that doesn't do as much for me. Nearest neighbor scale, no. Gameplay. Group infrared vision. What's when any has otherwise will only be shown when one character with infravision. Rest until healed. Max HP. No difficulty based damage increase. Don't melee after depleting one ammo stack. Highlight accessible terrain on map. Cool. None of that. Cannot save during combat. Cool. Now we're really in the thick of it, aren't we?
You got this coming!
My blade will cut you down to size!
You got this coming!
That all?
Yeah? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I'll get right on that. Ow.
Huh?
Nature's servant awake.
Can I help you?
Whatever they need.
You're a queer fellow.
What you got for me this time? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
For right!
There we go. Oh, I can put that into there. Give that to you. So you get more thingy-majiggies. You're gonna drink that.
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure.
What if we held hands as a treat?
Yeah, way ahead of you, boss.
Oh, that would be something. If you can just have people hold hands together. Unfortunately, this game is not all for that. Hey, a ghoul!
They wish my ear?
Huh? Top of my to-do list.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Alright, write the magic for Grease. And detect evil. Excuse me, nose. Lol. Yes, I am going. Alrighty. Sorry, there was like a Facebook notification where it was like, hey, you've been invited to the Barbie movie for Saturday. And I was like, yes. Because I previously tried organizing that. Alright, so that doesn't help me at all. Probably wants me going down here. Fucking spiders.
Down the side.
No less than done.
What you got for me this time?
My blade will cut you down to size.
Top of my to-do list.
Alrighty, nothing here. Great.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
Cobalt, cool.
You got this coming!
You've a task as good as done.
There we go.
What do you want? Way ahead of you, boss.
That heals her a little bit.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Alright, that's a little bit bullshit, the amount of damage that did. Oh, because they were fucking bigger than normal arrows. That would do it.
Top of my to-do list.
That would do it. Uh-huh. Alright, what's in here? Oh, actually.
I fear I need healing, lest I not survive.
Alright. Resting for a quick second. You're gonna go see the Yeah, I'm gonna go see the Barbie movie. So the reason why I'm not streaming on the Saturday this week is because I want to. The reason why is because I want to go and watch both Oppenheimer and Barbie when it comes out. And the way I've arranged it is Oppenheimer in the morning, so at like 10 o'clock or something like that, because it's a 3-hour long thing. Once I'm done with Oppenheimer, I have my lunch and what have you, and then at 6 p.m. and then in the evening, I go and watch Barbie with a group of peeps. There might. Oh wait, no.
Top of my to-do.
Alright. That was not meant to happen. Let's rest again. I disarm the trap, and then we go through the door. Because otherwise, that's just a waste of a sleep.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright,
Yeah?
you...
What do you want?
You are going to disarm this trap.
Way ahead of you, boss.
There we go. We get some experience for our troubles.
Way ahead of you, boss. Top of my to-do list.
Alright, so... hand these two things to you. So they fill in like that. Actually, I can probably throw 2 of them into you, because you're going to use them a lot. You put that on. I'm just throwing my arrows in, like, different assortments. Alright, there we go. Should be good
What you got for
now.
me this time? Yeah? What do you want?
Alright, Detecting.
You're a queer
Detecting.
fellow.
Servant away.
Cool one,
That called?
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, let's see how we go. Let's see how we go.
My heart's really not into it. Oh, my heart's really not into it.
Alright, hopefully this is the right direction. So yeah. What about you guys? Are you gonna go watch like both Oppenheimer and Barbie, or are you only gonna watch like one and not the other? How the fuck did you disappear? Alright, cool. That's the ghoul dead.
What you want?
What you got? Way ahead of you, boss.
Way ahead of you. Can't do anything over there, so...
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Hello. Yeah, I'll get
Hi
right
there,
on.
Code. Welcome to the stream. It has been going on for a bit. I'ma be real with you. Baldur's Gate 1 is probably not doing it for me. I'm probably going to like... I might give it like another shot like on Friday night, but it's...
What? How you get in here?
Malahi. I am not gonna...
Yeah? What do you want?
I am not gonna bother talking to him. I am just gonna... Tazok must have dispatched you, and my traitorous kobolds let you pass, didn't they? I knew I could not trust them. Armed as such, you have obviously been sent to kill me by Cyric. Not a measure of ore leaves these mines unspoiled, and I am still not to be executed. I'll not lose my head over this. But thy head is no less danger. Reveal, and perhaps we will be merciful. Did not send thee, then thou art dead. Help my minions, help!
Huh?
You've got magic, so I'll just use you. Magic missile
You
on
point,
you.
I punch.
You will use Berserk.
You have need of me?
And...
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure. Yep.
What you got for me this time? Yeah? What do you want?
I yield to thee. Accept my surrender. I thank thee for thy mercy. There in the chest are my letters. Take them and leave me be. I will bother you no more. Cool. I need to kill all your minions, however.
Cut you down to size.
You got this coming!
For the fallen!
You'd honestly recommend the Dark Alliance games over these if you want something Baldur's Gate related. I don't have the Dark Alliance, I don't think is the thing. I think I have Divinity. Oh shit. Let's see how we go with this.
What you got for me this time?
They wish my ear.
Go
Yeah?
for the eyes.
What do you want?
Go
Way
for
ahead
the
of you,
eyes.
boss.
Alright, hang on a sec. Someone needs healing. Why can't you... Oh, shit.
You've a task?
Okay, cool. You can heal peeps. There we go.
Let's talk more fight.
Just so then that way... Just so then that way he doesn't, like, die when the rage is over. Alright. Nothing to do in proficiency. So... wasn't really using moves silently. I'm gonna use find traps just so then, because hopefully then that way, like, the next time we go through places like those, we don't, you know, get hit with all that nonsense. You can't level up. You can't level up. You can level up, however. Your Thaco is reduced by 1. Additional hit points gained is 13. Lore increased. Nice. None of yous can level up.
What you got for me this time?
Where's the dude? Oh, there's the dude.
Open wound in Mother Earth. I would plug it had I the power.
I care not.
Alright, I need my potions into peeps. You will have this potion. Drink the potion. Alright, and you've got a few thingamadiggies. By my car door? Wait. Sorry, hang on, I need to read that now. Or the more recent Pathfinders, they're on Steam. Divinity, Original Sin 1 and 2 are also good. Turn-based, which makes it better. You should also read the comics. So much. I just wanted to, like, you know, have a little bit of catch up for before Baldur's Gate 3, because I'm very tempted to playing Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to play Baldur's Gate 3 with, like, a group of friends. So then that way it's sort of like playing Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of having a DM, we just use Baldur's Gate as our DM. Kind of like when we went through, like, Titan Quest together. Wait. Okay, so you got attacked by your car door today, Code. Is that what do you mean you got attacked by your car door? Was that, like, because you just banged yourself by accident? You're gonna need to explain, or was it like a kangaroo, like, hopped by, kicked the door, and just ran away like a hit and run? You also plan to get Baldur's Gate 3. You opened the door and it got me in the head. Were you outside the door? Were you on the outside of the car or the inside? Because I'm imagining, because if you're on the outside, yeah, that's a typical, like, you know, you're probably, like, leaning forward and just, like, bonk, probably hit you on the corner. All right, cool. Because if you somehow opened the door and were inside trying to get outside, I would want to know what the fuck those logistics would have been to get that happening. All right,
Cool one, son.
Letter. My servant Mullahay, I send you the kobolds and mineral poison that you require. Your task is to poison any ore that leaves these mines. Don't reveal your presence to the miners or you'll find yourself swamped by soldiers from the local Amnian garrison. My superiors have recently hired on the services of the Black Talon mercenaries and the Chill. With these soldiers at my disposal, I should be able to destroy any iron caravans entering the region from the south and the east. I don't want to deal with iron coming from the Nezel mine, so don't fail in your duties. Tazok. Nice.
Whatever they need.
Alright, pick those things up. A letter. Your progress is disrupting the flow of iron ore. Does not go as well as it should. How stupid can you be to allow your kobolds to murder the miners? With your presence revealed, you should be wary of enemies sent to stop your operation.
I need aid soon, lest my... You point, I punch.
You point, I punch. Alright, Alright, get rid of the short sword. Does anyone else have any potions they can give? No one else has potions to give. Okay, that's a bit of a concern. Dink, donk, bim, bing, ding, dong. Ding, ding. Alright, I don't want to put on boots in case they're cursed. Jasper Gem. The symbol is a representation of the god Cyric.
You're a queer fellow.
Alright, so you will pick up that. You can pick up the Morning Star as well.
Let's talk more fight.
Yeah? What do you want?
detecting traps. And
What you want?
illusions.
It is certain that the death of Mullahay will relieve the fears of the terrorized.
There's no way that Dark Alliance is a better Baldur's Gate game, or Baldur's Gate 3 for that matter. This is not to say that they're bad, but the mechanics are too different, and the Baldur's Gate will always be applied to Infinity Engine games. Even if Baldur's Gate 3 ends up being a far superior game on its own, it will not be a Baldur's Gate game per se.
They may have links to the
Okay, so what you're saying then, Cogumel, is ignore the fact that I'm not wearing a shirt. Code stole it. Don't know why they stole it. You're saying that I will not, you know, even if I play Baldur's Gate 3, I will not have, like, the same feel of play as I will Baldur's Gate 1/2. Is that what I'm getting at here? Hang on. Dink, donk.
This way.
Let's see what happens. Nice! Alright. Potion, potion. Ooh, a cool short sword.
Huh?
I will pick that up.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
And then potion of absorption. No.
I wish as well as I can.
So much shit to pick up. Moonblade? This potent weapon was created by the smiths of ancient myth Draenor. Moonblades are used in the long process of selecting a ruler in the Isles of Evermeet. A moonblade chooses its owner, and in the case of this sword, it has chosen the elf Zan. Only Zan can use this blade. Anyone else who tries will find themselves unable to lift it. This particular moonblade gives resistance to fire and a bonus to the user's armor class. Okay. So there's a dude named Zan. Nice. Right magic. Hey, an identify spell. That's exactly what we need. Sleep, charm, infovision. Nice. Alrighty.
What you got for me this time?
Select all.
Top of my to-do list.
And is there a way for us to get out of this? Hello? Oh, that's Zan! The Baldur's Gate experience has to be experienced using an Infinity Engine.
Dismal vaults too long.
Your hardcore battle Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. You're playing. I don't mean I want to do this, but you had equipped that gave him a Thalco of 24 main hand and 28 offhand. Yes, that is true. I did have Rasad like absolutely terribly equipped. He's dead, I'm pretty sure. I learned my lesson there. Where am I in my train of thought? But yeah, actually, now we're dealing with Zan. I know I'm probably doing things wrong. The fact that I've gone through like D&D 3.5 and 5th edition probably does not help me trying to interpret how to play fucking advanced. We'll see how it does. And you have absolutely no use of your spells or positioning. Oh yeah, that too. Thankfully, however, I'm playing on the easy difficulty. I am not wanting to play this in the normal difficulties. Like, here's the thing, in Kogimel. I just wanted to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 just to see if there was anything important, like, in the game story-wise or something like that. So when I play into Baldur's Gate 3, so that way when I go into Baldur's Gate 3, I'm not missing any, like, you know, critical details and such. But for all I know, that could be absolutely false. It could be like a Final Fantasy game where the numbering system means dick all. There's nothing that connects Final Fantasy 15 with Final Fantasy 16. There might be nothing that connects Baldur's Gate 2 with Baldur's Gate 3, for all we know. At last, Zan is free of their jury prison. 5 and 80 days are far too long for one of the fair folk to live as a dwarf. You look no better off than I, but my appreciation for my liberty bids me add my spells to your cause. I am Zan. Shall we face the impossible together? Can help, especially when they wield powerful magic. How did you come trapped in such an inhospitable place? Alas, I was sent to investigate the strange goings-on about this area, and I landed caged for seemingly hopeless weeks on end. I have not seen the sun almost as long as I've not seen my home. Lol. I honestly thought that said lol, not lot. You're all welcome to join me. I shall not until I have made payment to you. If you have searched through Molly's treasure, you may have found a sword among his documents. It is a moonblade and is my most valued possession. Alright. Question. Where do the party members go when they're no longer with me? Because I had like the 2 evil characters or what have you with the I had like the 2 evil characters, and I got rid of them so I can get the monk and Minsk. But they're over in Nazna something or rather. I noticed earlier. I don't know where the monk is after I left him for dead, so he's probably just dead. Full stop right now. But I really cannot be bothered saving him and resurrecting him or what have you. What do I do with this guy? Depending on what edition you have and whether you have mods or not. There are no mods. This is enhanced edition. Yeah. Because will Minsk just end up like back in the town? Like, where do these 2 peeps go? Do they go back to the friendly, like, are they all going to different places? If a companion dies and you dump before you rest, then they are dead forever. Alright, well, the monk is dead forever. The monk is dead forevers. I am not going to be backtracking for that monk. The monk died a lot of times, I'm going to be real with you. Probably because, as you mentioned, I gave him, like, dual wielding, and he had a THAC0 of, like, 20 and 24. Or, sorry, 24 and 28, so obviously was not very helpful. But, meanwhile, these guys. Actually, I can probably... Can't remember defaulting, but I think he will stay where you left them, or go to one of the main inns. Alrighty. HE equals dumped companions. Okay, so hang on a second. So, Zan dumped companion. They should say in their departure dialogue. Ah, neaties. Well, also, there's like a Beamdog forum that will like tell you. Stay where you kick them out. As far as I know, they can be removed and picked up again as many times as you wish. Wait, the new NPCs go to the friendly arm inn. Everyone else just sits smack where you left them. It's been brought up that the game made them return to the inn as well, but we haven't heard any official word for making this happen. What they could and couldn't do. The contract was very specific about adding any new content, even simple convenient things such as telling NPCs to wait somewhere like the friendly arm inn. Simple truth is, Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition is just a makeover and compatibility update. On the other hand, because there's a lot of modding for BG, uses the mods tell you they're going to the friendly arms inn. Note that if you dismiss a candidate important to them, they're probably gone for good. I think that's what happened with Kivian. Companions get testy if you don't do their quests. Some will leave immediately. Others will stand there, but eventually vanish. There's a wiki that's the best source. Yeah, I was in a forum, but okay, hang on a sec. Companions. Party companions, frontline fighter specializing. Baldur's Gate establishes canon party. Imin, Jaikide, Minsk, and Daener. This is a fairly effort, although only Minsk are best in class. Since some are never heard from again, the following characters return in Siege of Sphere. There's a curious best friends for resource competition, ease of recruitment. I don't think this helps me. Gosh darn it. Oh wait, hang on. Companion listing. No, this does not help. I wonder if... Does this make a mention of Rasad? Hit QR. No, it just jumps. Okay, this does not have the companions that was... Alright, hang on. Baldur's Gate. Where companions... Where do companions go when dismissed? Where do... When you remove them? Companions... Hang on a second. Bum. Baldur's Gate companions. Can be recruited at their indicated spots. Some require a quest, and when failing the quest or the most... When you no longer recruit, that most will stay at their spot with the following exceptions. Nier will jink at the bar in the friendly arms till you come to your senses. Balthel will hide just outside the friendly arms. Korn, alright. So that doesn't help me. Drafir is found at the... No. Gosh darn it. Why are most of the exceptions things like, oh, I'm sorry, but they will just... Most of the exceptions are like, they'll go to maybe. Some will not rejoin after you dump them, depending on under which you dump them. Oh! Minsk and their companion, like, I've got them too, down here. New companions. Oh, cool. Rasad was just a random companion from Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. So he's not like proper, like, part of the thingy-majiggy. He's just got some cool boots, and that's about it. Where the fuck?
Furry Cures 1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Calm
Them
your
boots
eyes,
was made for
Paddy.
walking. These boots are made for walking. And so that I do about a record over you. Bum, 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 bum. What happens if I get... Hang on. Maybe I'll mention... So... So... Damn it. Just let me... So... We got Dranir. We've got...
Quote 410.
Imoen,
Why does Bone Mask
Jaira,
have like a different sized head?
Kaled, Minsk. So yeah, because for some reason... Oh no, Montaron! I got rid of them at the monk's place, so they were just standing around there. That's why I saw the two of them there previously. And then I've got Zan, who is an enchanter. Oh my god, some of the things are failing to load. Alright, close that. Recruitment. If you allow her to join your party, she gets 800. Gets along well with the Jontis, who may or may not have a bit of a crush on her. Gameplay, biology. Nope. Yeah, it just says where you can recruit them. It doesn't, like, say anything about where they... That's annoying. Big stretch. Alright, here we go. Let me do my 20 squats to make myself feel better. God damn this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Furry Cures. Thank you for the 20 squats. Alright, is there really a benefit to... Alright, I didn't have Garrett. Imoen. Potential companion in 1 and 2. Half-blood to us. It doesn't explain. Recruitment is available to recruit from Chapter 1. She will join despite any of the thing. Yep, cool. And then she's there for Dragon Spear. And Baldur's Gate 2. This is annoying.
We're all doomed.
Should you ever require the use of my considerable talents? Yeah, there's no easy, like... Were they expecting me to have, like, no other companions other than, like, Imoen and the two peeps? Like... God damn it. Also, she's over encumbered, god damn it. Alright. Ding. Dong. Oh, you can use it. Cool. His inventory is full. Thaco doesn't improve. So he's wearing Splint. Imoen can wear this, though. Yep. So that reduces her Thaco. Swap you guys around. Drop the short sword. Hey! How dare you, Faded Foxo! You stole my shirt again! It's been stolen so many times in this stream now! Ah! Alright, so we got the weird vials. I can hold 200 thingamadoogies. I can probably just throw them in here just to... Can I? Let's see. This is a short sword with no other descriptors on it. Boobies! Boobies! Here we go. Here we go. Hi there, Faded Fox. Cookie for Angrel. Here's your cookie, Angrel. Oh, everyone's getting out of the woodworks now at 9 p.m. Let's see this. So he can... Alright, so... Donk Cookie, once again, this time for furry cures. Alright, your inventory is full. Well, I could, like, do this if I wanted to. Short sword, bastard sword. Alright, so the blue things, I still don't know what they do. Leather armor is useless when I have, like, all the other stuff. Done. Let's see. Gauntlets and thingy-madoogies. Alright. Now to figure out how to get out of this fucking cave. I'll leave Zan there, because, quite frankly, like, I have no other... Like, is there a quick way out of here? I don't know if there is. Oh, now she's over encumbered. Let's see, studded leather armor. Damn it, now he's over encumbered. Yay, cool, you can still hold on to stuff. Excellent. Yep, you're good. So she's no longer having a problem. You don't need more than one of those. Bastard sword, long sword, short sword. Alrighty. Yonk, bonk. I don't need multiple short swords. Ding, dong. Wait, can I copy note? Cool. Copy note. And there we go. That way we don't have to carry all this around. Copy note. Copy note. Bastard sword, short sword. Alright, you don't need to hold more than one bastard sword. There's a quick way out. Please put he has with a morning star. Wait, hang on. Oh. Yeah, whoops. Okay. Sorry. I just threw him the morning star, but this is what he has. He's the Varskona. Because I think with a normal longsword, yeah, his THAC code changes to 18 instead of 16. Let me just move that out of there. All right. You can swap back over to longsword now. I just had them using like a lot of ranged weapons for a little bit. I don't yet have a sling for her to use. And we got this Moonblade here. Thank you for... Because that's a +2. That's what the +2 means. Excellent. I figured that. I figured the +2 weapon was, you know, better than just a standard. Yours is 18 and goes up to 20. Oh! Thank you. Thank you, Alkiris. Yeah, Alkiris. Sorry, I thought I was about to say your name incorrectly then. But yeah, she can't use the Moonblade. The only person who can use the Moonblade is Whatsamahoosies, but I don't want to fuck up my party. Let's see. Is there a... Doesn't look like there's something or other there. Is there...
Icy is cute, woo.
Icy is cute.
Top of my to-do list.
Alrighty. Because I can't walk that. There was this guy here. It does +2 damage, but also suffers +2 to the THAC, so it makes it easier to hit things. And when you do hit, it also hits harder, but it also means to Yep. I am familiar with +2 weapons. The minute it gets to +1, it gets considered magical as well.
Cures 1,221
I've played D&D 3.5 in 5th edition. I may not like be able to do the math of the THACO and all that kind of nonsense here from like the advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but when it comes to, you know, like chainmail versus like full thingamadiggies, like the restrictions of class, like some of that stuff, I will most certainly be able to get an interpretation understanding of. So, yeah. Alright, where does this send me? The fuck is... Oh, god damn it. Arrows.
Yes?
Go for the eyes, fool! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
Go.
Is that called?
Again, you stay the fuck back.
Yeah? What do you want? Huh? Top of my to-do list.
90. Good going on the 91%.
Gather your party before venturing forth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
All right. First and foremost, we are going to mark that as Zan's cave. Done. The fuck are we? But only 22% queued. Sad to hear. Where the fuck are we? Alright, cool.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alrighty, we are going to head into the Whatsamahoosies thing. So then that way they can identify all the different equipment that we got. How long are you going to be on for? Probably another few minutes, considering it is just hitting buy a... Yes, that was also in my to-do list, is buy a sling. So yeah, I identify a whole ton of the different things I do. Buy a sling for the lady. I need to remember what it is she uses, like what exactly a sling uses. Ding. There we go.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Talk to you now. Can cast identify.
Poor, what with the
Gets
iron?
very expensive. You also ask vendors to do it. Well, Yeah, but she doesn't memorize all the things, and like it's a small silly price. Okay, it's not the end of the world. And jade ring. I don't know about the angel skin then. Done. Sell. Agni and blue. Okay, I guess the Agni and bluestone we can actually like just. You meanwhile. I guess if they just say like family, whatever, amulet, and all that kind of nonsense, they don't actually sell for that much. Sell. You're technically dead, so sell. And sell. So yeah, it costs 100 gold for boots. Like that's really not that expensive. Boots of Grounding, Talos' gift. Untold years ago, the fortress of the Star Spire Peninsula was placed under the direct torment of Talos when a favored storm herald was murdered there. Talos promised the destruction of the city by earthquakes, its isolation by tidal waves, and the death of its civilians by storms. One pair of these boots was bestowed to ensure that none but a single man would survive to tell the story of his wrath. Later, travelers seeking fortune in the ruined city came upon an aged man. Maddened by the continuous destruction around him, the boots he wore would be carried to many a distant land, the legend of a city consumed by a god's rage. Nice! Electrical resistance.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself.
Sure. Alright, let's have a... Yep, 100 there. Is the first type of sword to come into existence in the simpler... Can be considered about the place... Does a +1, 1d6 +1. Okay, so it's just a short sword +1. From the looks of it. Yep, short sword +1. Cool. Also... I should probably have these boots identified to figure out what they are, and then I'll use the identify spell, so... Talos' gift for you. Actually, hang on a second. Do... Dunk. I'll just have you memorize both these things as we go into... Now, the quick question. Can I just rest right here? Quick save. Rest.
You do not dream often, but tonight the visions are vivid indeed.
Ooh.
Long have you walked,
okay,
but now
that's
you
it.
find
I'm gonna
yourself
spit in
back
your mouth.
amidst the stones of Candlekeep. Your former home looms before you, but the gate is closed and barred. Over the walls there is a candle in your old room, but as the light goes out, the brick surrounding the window closes together. The very walls conspire to keep you at bay. A familiar voice startles you. Though it is calm and caring, you cannot go back this way, child. You must go on. Gorion forms before you. Though his image should be comforting, it seems but a shade of his living self. He is dead in your dreams, as in life. The phantom of your foster father gestures toward the blackness of the wood, as though it should be inviting. Perhaps it is, in a way, but the traveling will be hard. As you think this, a smooth and obvious path becomes clear out of the corner of your eye. It seems meant for you, pulls at your very being, and promises to quickly lead you away from the life you once led. Perhaps this would be for the best, but it is a bit too convenient for your liking. You do not wish to dwell upon the loss you have endured, but neither should it be forgotten. Gorion smiles and fades away. The pull becomes a push, but you turn away, steadfast in your new direction. The way is not quite as clear, but it is sure to be interesting nonetheless. A whisper follows as you stride away, something vestigial and sinister that you recognize, but yet have never heard. You will learn. You don't look back.
Okay. So there was an easy path that I didn't take, so I took a different path?
Stand away, citizen!
Rise and shine, citizen. No sleeping within town limits. Get a room at an inn if you must rest. It's either that or camp outside the city. Noted. Thankfully, I can just... Oh, again, I have to give it to this lady here. And give this ring to this lady here. Identify via... Did she not... Nope, she did not learn. God
What you
fucking
got?
damn
Way
it.
ahead of you, boss.
I am death come for thee. Surrender, and thy passage shall be quicker.
I'm not surrendering to anything. Fuck off. Why Nimble has been hired to deal with the likes of you, I'll never know. Cool. You are going to have a very hard time as 3 arrows shoot right at you. Is this the Funny Bear game? It's the first one, not the third one. We're not at the Funny Bear game yet. Oh, god damn you. Also, I forgot to buy a sling. I knew I forgot something. The fuck is that?
Yeah? What do you want?
Hush, little baby. Don't say a word. Nimble's gonna show you the big black bird.
Oh my god, what is with these? Please don't die. Amazingly enough, I did not die. Nimble, the money you have received from GrantZeebs should cover your usual fee. Your assignment is a difficult one, but I'm sure that you are up to the task. There is a group of mercenaries who should be coming through Nazkel in the next few days. They are led by a whelp named GrantZeebs. You are to kill GrantZeebs and all that travel with him. I warn you, they might not look like much, but they are dangerous. Good hunting. Nice.
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright.
Top of my to-do list.
I'ma get my sling. Oh my god, I'm at 1 health, my main character. I did not think very clearly. Alright. Dagger, sell. Short sword, sell. Throwing axes, sell. Sell. Alright. So, we got a sling. What does the sling use? The basic sling consists of a leather with a pouch for holding the missile. The weapon is held by both ends of the strap and controlled around the... Yep. Alright, 1. Do I need to get, like, a... Do I need to get a bullet? Probably. Knowing my luck. Knowing my luck, I will need to buy a bullet. There we go. Alright, So, you are going to get this... The character is too far away. God damn it. Alright. Oh, yeah, because she's probably, going cuckoo. Hang on.
Way ahead of you, boss.
How long do you think they're going to be knocked out for?
What you got for me this time, yeah? What do you want? Huh?
Alright, note
Yeah,
to self.
I'll get right
We're gonna
on
go into the inn this time. Death Come 40? I've never heard of such a name. Are you sure you're talking in the right chat there, Gooey? Alrighty,
Yeah, I'll get right on
talk
that.
to you.
Never had
What can you give me today? We're gonna sleep as... Nope. Actually, fuck it. Peasants. Rest. Rest again.
I refuse to elaborate.
Actually, no. We'll...
Because I don't know what I just said.
We'll... Alright, give her the things. You are going... Because she should memorize the, Alright. Identify via spell. Topsider's Crutch. Dare the risk of trading with the Drow, the Great Rift. Infrared Vision. Nice. Short sword +1. Damn it. Alright. So he's proficient at that shit. Alright, so I got 1, 2...
Never had rats. No siree.
Boots of Stealth. Awesome. Alright, well that was a good idea to give to my dwarf fella. Alright, you wear the boots. Give both these scrolls to her, so then that way you can memorize these things. And then... what are these boots? Boots of Avoidance. Senses of the Cat. Yeah, I'll give you those. Cannot be a spell. Alright.
Never had rats. No siree.
They wish my ear?
Ring of Holiness. An honorary ring of sun. You're given to the faithful priest of sun who demonstrated actions of astonishing integrity and kindness. Can memorize 1 extra divine spell for each level from first to something or other. Okay, cool. Well, she can't wear it. Can't any of them wear it? Oh, she can. Amazing. Alright, cool. You get to wear that. Nice. So, Ensnare. Doom. Let's Bless. Area of effect. Upon othering, the caster raises the morale by 1.
Calm your ice paddy.
Raises their attack and damage by 1. Determines what range the spell will be cast. At the instant is completed, it affects all creatures in a 15-foot radius. Radius centered on the point, but thus affecting creatures leaving the area are still affected by those after this is completed or not. Significant protection against... the protection is 5% and every... okay. Fine. Meanwhile, you have 2 spells, and... I very much liked when Magic Missile was just a, cantrip that you could cast every time.
What you got for me this time? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Alright. Save the game here. Session 2. And I am gonna go and end the stream there, because it is getting late to the night. Did I save the game? Yes, I did save the game. I am gonna be ending the Baldur's Gate stream there. I will be back onto it most like Friday night. We'll see how we go with it there. Wednesday night is going to be our art stream,
Now
so that should be...
is what we call a skill issue.
You are absolutely right. I am most certainly having a skill issue with Baldur's Gate compared to a lot of other peeps. But if you'll stick with me for another minute or 2, we are gonna go on a little raid. Let's see. Who is online? Who can we raid? Let's go and raid Greenie. It's been a while since we've raided into Greenie. And if you are subscribed, you can use the emotes in the raid message. Himbo raid. Show us your cutest guys, gals, and non-binary pals, or prepare to get swole. If you're not subscribed, that's okay. You can use whatever other kinds of emotes you want for the raid message, if you wish. And otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry that I'm not super chatty when playing Baldur's Gate and that's a bit of a quiet sort of stream, but I hope on Wednesday night, so not tomorrow, but the next day, we'll have a lot more fun as I go through more like a Blender art stream, trying to create some more things, or maybe trying to, decorate behind me this room that you see and maybe some other panels. But otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Okay,